And anyway, let me give a brief outline about this program so that your question may have very pertinent, relevant to this particular program as such. All right, so I have designed a program for 45 days. Every day we'll have live from 7 to 9 p.m. YouTube live, 7 to 7:45. CDP, Child Development and Pedagogy, I myself will take. Dr. Yakaiah, teacher educator by profession, and inspiring teachers and researchers is my passion. And then 7:45 English madam, Dr. Sujata, who has already is with us, and selflessly with commitment she has been serving the student community. She has come forward for this season also to guide the CTET students, and she herself is a PhD teaching English methodology, having more than 20 years of experience in this field. Definitely, I'm sure you will get benefit from her. So as you know, for both the languages, pedagogy syllabus almost the same. That doesn't mean I'm not saying Telugu and English both are same. Comprehension, whatever the techniques, tools she says, you can apply the same with Telugu, but with practice of Telugu paragraphs. And I also will bring in some of my friends or colleagues who can help you in Telugu also a little later. But for now, what we will go ahead to begin with for first 15 days, it is English, both comprehension and pedagogy. All right. And then followed by the third session will begin at 8:30 to 9 minimum. And if so required, it can go up to 9:15. So I request the candidates to schedule yourself from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Not that we are going to retain you up till 9:30. Live will be 7 to 9. May extend up to 9:15. Otherwise, some work given, if you could do between 9:30 and the same day work you are doing, you are with us and you will get the best possible. Yes, Nishat has joined. Nissi, I also have joined. Both are from Nishat Paka from Ghulam Ahmed. Nishat Ahmed. Sir, I am Nishat, as introduced just now, applied CTET. My relative Shakira, who studied with you from Maulana Azad University. All right. That's great. Welcome. And so the third session, what will be there? First session, 7 to 7:45, CDP, Child Development and Pedagogy by Dr. Yakaiah. Starting from what is the syllabus, brief of each topic, previous 10 years questions discussed topic wise. If you see any book, what do you find is either year wise questions will be there, chapter wise questions will be there. But in the year 2005 itself, 15 years ago, when for the first time in teacher recruitment, applied questions started in psychology, I have written my first book in that area called Educational Psychology for TRT or DS in those days we call it, wherein you will have a growth and development, concept of growth and development, growth, development, maturity, and immediately what are the questions asked on growth, development, and maturity in the last 10 years. Then we go to the principles of growth and development, principle number 1, 2, 3 to begin with. And then immediately after that, 8 to 10 principles we discuss. Last 10 years questions, if possible, principle 1, and immediately the questions related to that. But like that, for all the 10 principles, there may not be the questions sufficient. Therefore, together within that principles we will discuss and then we will go. That's one uniqueness and one and only inspiring teachers is going to offer you an added advantage over other programs, other books, other materials. All right. Then 7:45 when the English madam comes, needless to say, because I have seen her offering and guiding Army Public School screening test students. I have seen her experience in 2 seasons of UGC NET JRF English comprehension. And now this is for her the 4th program, and in addition to her regular teacher education experience. So she do take care both comprehension passages and pedagogy. Only thing is, if required, at the end of the day, she will be giving some passages for you, which you need to practice at home, do your work, come for discussion. Thus, we can make the best out of possible. But for model, 1 or 2 passages, she will read then and there on the screen and also will work and suggest you. Yes, I could see the response from Dr. Sujata. Good evening, madam. So much indebted to you, in fact, because when I was searching to offer such a free program, it's not that if I say only psychology, because I am an expert of psychology, pedagogy, and mathematics, and I'll teach this. Those of you who are interested, come here. If I say, normally, particularly when already notification has come, students serious will think of, if I go there, is it worth of my time? Am I assured? You could see the initial questions, 2 or 3 students, whoever have asked, sir, will it cover all topics? Can we really get 120 plus 130 plus? That I'm not saying or not promising nor denying. It depends on. But from my side, what I say, 100 plus, yes, quite possible. If you just work for these 45 days along with us. So there, madam has said always, I take it for granted, whatever the efforts you make, my support will be there. And she has been extending such support. And this time we are looking forward for that. She will be taking from 7:45 to 8:30 for 15 days. So from today onwards, up till 15th November, you are completing one language. Also parallelly, I think the other one, most probably for people from Telugu states, it is Telugu mother tongue. I'm sure applying these techniques you will be able to do. Required support we will give. People from other states, Hindi, I'm sure you are very good at that, and you may apply these same pedagogy concepts and comprehension techniques and will be able to deal with that. And then the last third session comes 8:30 to 9 minimum, may go up to 9:15, where I have my team members. Today you are going to experience one who is very popular in both the Telugu states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, who is known for teaching try methods. The Venu. Venu is my good friend. He considers he is like a student, but he is a well-wisher and a good friend of mine. So he has come forwarded to do that job, try methods together. Now the question comes, sir, try methods, what is this try methods? So pedagogy you have in both EVS, mathematics, EVS includes science and social. If it is for paper 2, in fact, it has to be taught separately for maths and science one stream and social studies other stream. But in the very beginning and the first day, let me make it very clear. Please note that we do offer pedagogy and content only paper 1 as a syllabus scope. Because given these 45 days, unless I engage half a dozen exclusive faculty, if you go for science, bio, physics, chemistry, and then mathematics, I can't do justification to that, I know. Similarly, social studies, history, economy, polity, geography, at least 4 faculty have to teach that. Even then, before exam, within this 45 days, can we do justification to that is a challenge. Even my resources at hand is limited. So for this season, for the coming season, probably I may extend that also. But for this season, our limitation is your pedagogy, languages are common for the first 90 marks, both for paper 1, paper 2. When taking examples, questions, previous year's questions, we'll take from both paper 1 and paper 2 because that is a common syllabus. So therefore, that will work. But coming to this paper 2, if you are a very serious aspirant of paper 2, I can suggest some resources, either books or coachings or so on and so forth. But this particular program mainly covers common areas for paper 1 and paper 2, content and pedagogy within the scope of paper 1. Pedagogy, if that is useful for you, you would like to listen and apply that, extend there, you are most welcome. But otherwise, from my side, please be advised. It is. As far as paper 1, yes, it's 100%. But now somebody may ask me a question. Sir, if so, how to get 100 plus in paper 2? All right, they're also quite possible, for which if you wish you can join some other coaching, or otherwise if you are a high school teacher already, working teacher, or you have good command on the content, so 30, 30, 60 marks. You have your science and maths, that stream, or social studies together 60 marks. Within that content 30 marks, you have pedagogy anyway, we are covering, and you also have studied, you can manage. So as we go, as the questions come, probably from my side, what is possible to extend, I may say, but otherwise, as far as paper 1 is concerned, yes, almost total syllabus we will cover. So in that case, in third session, what is going to come up? Yes, methods, try methods, Venu sir will teach. And then we will have some faculty for EVS. Within the EVS, social sciences and sciences. One or two faculty will teach that part of it. And then mathematics. I have one of my student, but who is highly preoccupied on various already commitments. Then he said, initially for a few days you take, sir, later on I will join. So until he comes or some other of my student takes, I myself worked as a school assistant to begin my career way back in 1998, 96 to 98, and have taught students both for DSC, TET, mathematics content and pedagogy in various contexts. So I'm going to take that responsibility until that. Now, crux of the question comes here, I know. So that mass is the problem. Please note that when you say mass is the problem, the most common of this is from the non-mathematics students, bio and social studies, who are aspiring for paper 1 also seriously. Please let me tell you, which I have been telling this for 20 years of my B.Ed students, fact is, you may be a non-mathematics student given your intermediate or graduation background. But the content from 1st to 5th, practically 3rd to 5th mathematics, maximum they extend up to 6th, 7th or 8th class concepts, are not a math specialized people content. For that matter, each one of us up to 10th class are maths background only. Only after 10th, you have your specialization. So therefore, don't worry. What is required is, maybe you have certain bad memories with that, bad experiences with that. So that might have made, I can understand the emotionality attached. But for last 20 years, I have been teaching this statistics in education to B.Ed students, where you have bio students, you have social studies students, you have maths and physical science and all subjects. So therefore, don't worry. Particularly here, let me give you 1 mark advice, because 100 plus hours for 100 plus score, every session you should have every hour at least 1 mark hint right. There is one method known as unitary method. Don't study any topics or chapters of mathematics. Just learn unitary method. If a work is done by a person, 2 persons in 7 days, only one of them work, how many days does it take? A direct, for 2 persons 7 days, 1 person 14 days. But how do you get that? This is simplest for you to understand. For 1 person it took 7 days. When 2 persons work on the same, how many days it takes? More than 7 days or less than 7 days? Definitely it is more than 7 days. So more by less. 1 day, 2 persons, 1 person. More by 1, 2 by 1 into 7. That's I'll use my blackboard when practically I'll teach. Don't worry about that. I'm just giving you an example for today. And if you learn this unitary method itself, you will score 3 to 5 marks. Because it's not limited to one. Many contexts you can apply it. Similarly, percentages. So therefore, I'm going to teach this as a topic wise, so that you won't feel like I'm doing arithmetic, geometry, and so on and so forth. For example, when perimeter of the rectangle, most commonly asked question. Oh my goodness, who remember that perimeter formula? 6th class or 5th class? I learned, I forgot also. Don't worry. If you can have the clarity of the concept called perimeter versus area, simply draw a rectangle. Hereafter, just I'll show you one example here. Whenever you talk about area like this, whenever you talk about perimeter, draw this particular line double side. And commonly, whenever it is asked in the exam, what you will say? Length is 7 meters, width is 5 meters. What is it perimeter? Don't go for formula, don't search, don't think. Simply, this length is 7 meters. Obviously, this is 7 meters. This width is 5 meters. Therefore, obviously, it will be 5 meters. 7 plus 7, 14, 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 14, 24. 24 is its perimeter. The concept of perimeter, this you should have the clarity. Otherwise, you will have one of the alternatives as 7 5 are 35. Why? He's playing on the concept. What is that 7 5 are 35 is this? 7 meters, 5 meters, area. So if it is area, you are going to write only two sides. If the question asks this perimeter, you are going to write all the four sides and you are coming out with the answer. There is no question, you are missing it and you are losing out on this. So thus concept-based mathematical support I'm going to give. So anyway, along with the psychology, you have pedagogy. Indirectly, I am also covering some concepts of pedagogy. At present, I am teaching mathematics pedagogy. So therefore, I also have the basics of that, which will benefit you if required. Weekend, we will have the grand test, either a previous test or a model test, wherein we are going to explain. Yes, somebody by name Parijata Kasila has given that 2 into L plus B. That's fine. I don't say you don't learn the formula. Learn the formula, recollect it only if the question asks which of the following is a formula to calculate perimeter of the rectangle. L into B, L plus B, 2L plus 2B, 2 into L plus B. 4 options. Yes, that way you use it. Apart from that, for calculating for non-math, those who feel like lost some touch with mathematics, I don't advise. Because what you are writing is a competitive exam, which is a bit different from your academic exam. So using right strategy, right technique at right point is the key to success. I hope all those you agree, just type in agree in the chat so that I'll get the feedback that right away you are receiving a few of the things required. All right. So for any reason, for some reason, lecturer meant for or the faculty meant for third session is not available, I am available. I will take that session and do any of these, fill up the gaps, any leftover topics, those kind of things I'm going to cover, and thus we will ensure this 100 plus hours work minimum live plus additional work, so that it will give you 100 plus only. There is no question of minus. And this I have planned this and we are going to go ahead. All right. Yes, I got the responses from Parijata, Sarika, Mezbin. Everybody say yes and agree, sir. Okay. So parallelly, if you have any questions, queries at this outset of my introduction to the program, you can ask. I'll take up 1 or 2 questions before I move with the CDP introduction. Sarayu Satish, I agree, sir. Okay, thank you for the responses. So that's oxygen to the teacher. When the students are receiving and the teacher understands that the students are receiving, and it goes far, far better as such. Yes, Nisha, thanks for the response, Vijay Krishna. All right. If there are no questions, let me move ahead. I think I am on for, there is no delay. I did not put any delay in the live. So therefore we are on live. All right, Satish, thanks for the response. I have response from a few students that gives me the feedback they are receiving. All right. Okay. Now the question comes to CDP, Child Development and Pedagogy. All right. So what is this child development and pedagogy? If those of you have already gone through the syllabus, you can understand that child development and pedagogy has what you have read under various titles. Some of you might have studied this as educational psychology, introduction to educational psychology, child development and pedagogy, as particularly AP Telangana universities name it. But please note that, as the title says, it's not just limited to only psychology. As you know, there are 3 broad units. First talks about growth and development and a few related topics. Second, you have an inclusive education. And the third, pedagogy. All right, so let me just turn to that. And tomorrow we will have this live YouTube through, I will take up Zoom, so that whatever the PPT or the syllabus or the screen share I can do, I'll be able to do. Today being the first day, actually setting my OBS studio has delayed for some reasons at my end. So therefore I could not do that. So today I cannot share the screen, but otherwise, yes. I'll just turn to the syllabus. If some of you have a question of which books to follow, sir, right now what I say is, if you are following the full 2 hours, and I suggest to follow this Success Master CTET 2021. If you have purchased already 2020 edition, still okay, because there is not much change in 2020 syllabus and 2021. If you already have this, is okay. If you don't have any book also, I strongly recommend and suggest to have one book, or otherwise you have some other book apart from this in the market. I know in the leading you have Disha publications, along with this you have Pearson publications, and you have quite lot other publications. Each area wise your respective faculty members will give. For pedagogy, child development and pedagogy, what I recommend is, if you have any one book apart from your B.Ed, D.Ed textbook, I don't say they are not useful. They are useful, provided if you have read that book. If you have read some test paper, some material and wrote your exam, I recommend have some textbook also. But don't go by textbook reading as a part of your preparation. Please note this. Go by CTET syllabus topic by topic. We'll be teaching like that. Your preparation also has to be that way. What are the topics that are there in the CTET? We'll go by those topics. Start with the first child development pedagogy one. You have concept of development and its relationship with learning. Immediately it goes to principles of child development. Then you have influence of heredity and environment, socialization process. Then Piaget, Kohlberg and Vygotsky, constructivist and critical perspectives. Piaget, Kohlberg, Vygotsky, as you know, every year definitely 2-3 questions on these aspects is coming. So we will discuss topic wise. You also follow topic wise. But even the topic also, I strongly advise, don't straight away read from your B.Ed or D.Ed book. Nor even either this or any book you have purchased also, please don't read the text. Study material from the book is not advisable to begin with. Once you listen this, then why to purchase these books, sir? The purpose of this book is for multiple choice questions, because the B.Ed, D.Ed or whatever your academic books will not have multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions and previous questions is the reason why you should read, take and follow one of these books. When you go through the previous questions or model questions, if you don't get an answer, then I recommend, if you have thoroughly read one of the D.Ed, B.Ed books, go to that chapter, that topic and search for the answer. You are not getting there, search in this book. There is a chance, because they have framed the question, there is a chance getting answer in this. You didn't get in these two, okay, you can share in our Telegram group, or in the weekends when I give you an opportunity live, you can ask. Preferably share the question so that your answer is also ready at what level and what length is to be given. All right, and all of a sudden then and there you get a question and you shouldn't ask. No constraint, no restriction, you are most welcome. If readily we know, we'll answer you, otherwise we'll find and answer you. One of the best alternative for the teaching aptitude question. Most of your pedagogy questions, other way around to say, are the teaching aptitude. For the first time in 1995, when in EdSet teaching aptitude was introduced, I have written the first applied based teaching aptitude material. Then the popular publications, and even ever today, it is being published and read by DIET and EdSet candidates, and they are getting benefited. So hope you can understand, and from there to in your UGC NET, SLET, JRF, in all these, you have teaching aptitude as one of the topic. I myself have qualified UGC NET, JRF in both psychology and education. Also have taught, my students have qualified. For example, in recent example, one readily comes to my mind is Shantini. Just in the last season itself, she has cleared UGC NET in education, also CTET, with little guidance from me, not much really. So therefore, there you can assure directly, indirectly, some best of the possible guidance. So the point I'm saying is, the book, whatever you take, for multiple choice questions, you depend on them. For content, if you have read some book in your D.Ed or B.Ed or M.Ed course, that is available for you, that is the best option. That is not there, make one of the book. Now, which book is a question? Again, it depends on from this thing, one to other. If you haven't read at that time, now I don't suggest go back to any one of the bulky books. Whatever the material you have it from exam point of view, go through that only. You are not getting answer there, discuss in the group or get it to one of the sessions where we will let you know. All right. So I have a query from Bhavani raising, child development and pedagogy have same for both papers. 100% syllabus of child development and pedagogy of paper 1 and paper 2 is the same. The only difference is, for example, question on growth and development, more commonly in paper 1, what are the developmental characteristics at infancy, childhood, early childhood? Whereas in paper 2, questions focuses on later childhood, adolescence. Second fundamental difference between your paper 1 and paper 2 questions is the difficulty level. Understandably, paper 2 will have a bit more difficult than that of the paper 1. Difficult in the sense, not the knowledge memory content based, classroom application point of view. And then the third fundamental difference between paper 1 and paper 2 questions is, paper 1 a combination of 40-60 or 50-50 of direct knowledge based questions and classroom or daily life application based questions, versus paper 2 80-20, 70-30. Only 20-30 direct knowledge textbook information based questions, whereas 70-80% classroom or daily life applied situation based questions. That's all the difference. When I discuss model questions, previous year's questions, In the bracket, I will put two things, paper 1 or paper 2, which year the question was asked, so that you will understand both paper 1 and paper 2 are covered in your CDP, Child Development and Pedagogy. All right. So thus we are going to go ahead. And coming to after the first unit, as I told, the three parts, first child development and pedagogy, unit 1 is related to this, and the second part of it is related to your inclusive education. I myself a doctorate in education with specialization in learning disabilities, learning difficulties, and ever since I have guided half a dozen students on these different areas of LDs in maths, science, and special education, juvenile children, and so on and so forth. So have a good hold on that. And this is also a topic in UGC NET JRF, where for the last 2 seasons I have taught that. And also I teach a paper, Inclusive Education to B.Ed, and thus you will get the best out of 5, 4 plus, because whatever I say, whatever you read, the best of the best preparation, expect that plus or minus 1 will be there. No, Yakaiah sir taught, I have studied thoroughly, I should get 5 out of 5 in inclusive education. That's only an idealistic. It's good, we wish so, but otherwise, always, never we are aiming 150 out of 150. The highest 130, 140 between in various CTET examinations. So therefore, in every area have a margin of 10 to 20%. 50-50, that's a dangerous state, because 60%, 90 marks itself is a cutoff for you to qualify under open category. Have that preparation of attempting 80 to 90 accuracy. Good enough score. Definitely 70 plus accurate it will become, which is 100 plus. All right. Before I conclude today's session, the last pedagogy is a combination wherein you have certain topics, includes some acts, Right to Education Act, CCE Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation. In the year 1995 itself, I have published an article on CCE Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation along with my professor Sudhir Reddy sir. So you can understand, and ever since I am in thorough grip on that topic. So you will get there are some education, pedagogy, psychology background topics along with the general methods. Now before I conclude, let me give you this another thing. Sir, what is the difference between pedagogy of child development and pedagogy in EVS, mathematics, languages? EVS, mathematics, languages, pedagogy is a direct subject based. For paper 1 people, how do you teach it to primary sections? For paper 2 people, how do you teach it to high school sections? Now the pedagogy concepts in your first section called CDP are generic in nature. They are not related to math, science, or social studies. Sorry, excuse me. But if you were to take a multi-grade class, inclusive class, general class, irrespective of age and grade, how effectively do you manage the classroom? In other words, it is a classroom management efficiency, preparedness of the teacher, are indirectly very closely related to teaching aptitude. So with examples and previous questions, in the coming sessions, I will be discussing on these. With this, if there are any questions quickly in 1 minute, please do ask. After answering them in a couple of minutes, I'm going to conclude, and